From the world's leading center for finance, the arts, publishing, science, research, media, innovation, and much more. This is MetroFocus with Rafael Pi Roman.
Tonight, money and politics add up to trouble in New York.
There are a host of questions about our electoral process that go back for decades.
Tens of millions of dollars for recovery from the Superstorm.
The Robin Hood Foundation was a godsend.
A story set on the streets of New York from a Sesame Street regular.
And the idea was to show Latinos with the same hopes and dreams of everyone else.
And a multi-generation fishtail.
The smell of fish is the smell of money.
Funding for this program is made possible by James and Merrill Tisch, Cheryl and Philip Milstein family, Jody and John Arnhold, Bernard and Irene Schwartz, the Nissan Foundation, and the Ford Foundation, working with visionaries on the front lines of social change worldwide. Corporate funding for MetroFocus is provided by Mutual of America, your retirement company.
Hello, I'm Rafael Pi Roman. Welcome to MetroFocus. Corruption, bribery, business as usual? New York politicians are caught in the crosshairs of a federal investigation that has brought arrests, tales of wiretaps, secret meetings, envelopes of cash, and the attitude of, so what's new, from the voters. Two Democrats, New York State Senator Malcolm Smith of Queens and Assemblyman Eric Stevenson of the South Bronx, are charged with bribery in two separate cases. Smith allegedly tried to bribe his way onto the New York City mayoral ballot with the help of Republican New York City Councilman Daniel Halloran, who was also arrested. In the other case, Assemblyman Eric Stevenson was caught in a bribery scheme with developers. An undercover informant who recorded Stevenson during the investigation turned out to be Democratic State Assemblyman Nelson Castro of the Bronx. None of the politicians charged in these two cases admitted wrongdoing at the time of their arrest. And Assemblyman Castro has now resigned from office as part of a deal to avoid prosecution in an unrelated case. It's also complicated that the New York Times created elaborate circular flowcharts to follow the money. But the bottom line, according to Preet Bharara, the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, who is prosecuting the corruption cases, is that, quote, a show me the money culture seems to pervade every level of New York government. Governor Andrew Cuomo, who made cleaning up Albany an issue both as Attorney General and as governor, says he sees the arrests as an opportunity for change.
There are a host of questions about our electoral process that go back for decades. And there's no doubt that we can clean up our electoral process. The cases I did as Attorney General pointed to many of the problems. But there's no doubt that the system needs reform. It has for many, many years. I don't think you can say every person in government is corrupt, and I don't think that's what the U.S. Attorney meant. But he did mean that the system needs reform, and I think he's right.
And joining me now, reporter Andrew Grossman of the Wall Street Journal and Jarrett Murphy, editor-in-chief of City Limits. Gentlemen, welcome.
Hi.
Good to have you guys here. Let me start with you. Let's look at the big picture. As the governor said, it's been, for decades there's been corruption in New York State. In fact, the New York Public Interest Research Group, NYPIRG, according to them, since 2007, more senators have lost their seat because they've been incarcerated than because they've lost election in a general election. What makes that kind of corruption possible in New York State?
Well, so there are a bunch of things at play there. One is, a lot of these senators are in very safe districts. They're not facing competitive re-election bids. I mean, that's why they're not losing, and they're able to build up a lot of power. The other piece of it is New York has a very relatively rare system where members of the legislature in the state and at the city level, they can steer funding to these nonprofit groups that, in many cases, they set up. They form part of their political base. And that's where you see a lot of scandals around these groups. The Dan Halloran scandal at the city council involved him trying to steer money to certain groups. You've seen that over and over again. So that's part of the problem.
And from your reporting in these recent specific cases, anything unusual about them or anything that makes them poster child of what's wrong with New York State?
In some cases, yes, but in other cases, you just have guys try. In some cases, it's not clear that they could even deliver what they were promising. So these are people who get elected. They have a strong power base. They're not. People aren't going to vote them out, and the same thing almost happens over and over again.
Yeah. Now, Jarrett, you've been covering the mayoral election for the 5-borough ballot project that we're working with together, and you've been going to neighborhoods. You went to Brownsville since the scandal broke.
Yes.
What are they talking about there? Are they aware of the scandal? What's the reaction?
Well, at the Van Dyke public housing development in Brownsville, people were definitely aware that this was happening. People were more aware of this than they were about even the existence of the mayoral race.
Is that right?
And the reaction generally, and the same one that our partners City and State found in their reporting in Bayside, is people kind of rolling their eyes, saying it figures, this is something they expected. Two interesting things I found, though. One was that people seem to take this kind of personally. One woman said to me, an elderly woman who, was not surprised to find about another corruption scandal, said, how can they do that to us? Which seemed like a kind of unusual personal stake she took in it. The second observation I had was that the closer people are to politics, the more involved they are, the less pessimistic and cynical they were. That was her reaction, but Lisa Kenner, who is a former district leader, my main contact in Brownsville, very politically astute, very involved, she was able to say, like, yes, there are some dirty politicians, but most that she's met and worked with are generally honest and honorable. So I thought that was interesting. The closer you are to it, maybe the ability to discern between the good guys and the bad guys becomes more acute.
But overall, the general public, it's that's the way it's going to be. They shrug.
They were not surprised.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, might this not be one of the fundamental reasons for the corruption that exists in New York, that people expected and accepted?
Yeah, there was a poll that came out that said 52% of voters say New York has about the same amount of corruption as other states, and 18% said it has less. So I think there's a sense that this is sort of par for the course.
Now, what can be done? I mean, can anything be done if people expected and accepted? Can anything be done to transform it, to make real change? For example, Governor Cuomo's recent proposed new legislation called the Political Trust Act. What's in it, and can it make a difference?
I think it can make a difference. The question is whether you can get the legislature to agree to it. The governor has a very powerful tool in the what's called the Moreland Act. He can impanel a body that would be even more aggressive in looking at legislators' campaign finance and ethics. So I think to get some of these smaller reforms involving reforms to what the district attorneys can prosecute, that sort of thing, giving them more resources, then I think that could make a difference.
And Jarrett, you say that the closer people are to politics, the less they accept it and the more positive they are of change. What has to happen at the leadership level for more people to feel that way, for more people to be expecting better?
Well, I think the old adages are that power corrupts and sunshine disinfects, and I think there's an argument for both. Andrew was talking about the fact we have non-competitive elections. One of the main sort of factors of the Malcolm Smith allegation is the idea that Republican county leaders had this power to keep someone on or off the ballot. We could ask the question about whether that's appropriate, whether we want to, entrust them with that power. And transparency and sunshine. I mean, you're never going to drive this out of the business entirely, but if you can increase the chance that someone's going to get caught, you probably increase a disincentive to rip the public off.
What should we expect next? How is this going to impact New York City, New York State?
Well, I think you have people trying to limit the political fallout. The governor's been in Albany now for 3 years. This is not a problem that he inherited. People are going to see this as his problem. And you have various candidates for mayor trying to make the most politically out of this. The city council speaker now has scandals on her watch. She's running for mayor, and she's going to want to try to limit that fallout.
Okay. Well, Andrew, Jarrett, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
When Superstorm Sandy barreled up the coast almost 6 months ago, no one knew what the rebuilding and recovery would take. For foundations and charities and for many celebrities, it was a call to action. The Robin Hood Foundation, a New York nonprofit, helped turn Madison Square Garden into a massive fundraiser on the night of 12/12/12 and promised to distribute the $50 million raised that night within a few months. NJ Today's Brenda Flanagan reports now from Eatontown on where $1 million of those dollars made a huge difference for New Jerseyans seeking new shelter after the storm.
1, 2! On 12-12-12, a constellation of musical stars drummed up millions of dollars to benefit Sandy victims like 65-year-old Mary Brooks. She lost everything in her Monmouth Beach apartment.
And we sat there and cried and hugged and cried, you know. It was very depressing at first. It was really depressing.
Not anymore. On 3/30/13, Mary moved into a brand new rental, a modular home mostly paid for by the Robin Hood Foundation, the nonprofit distributing the 12-12-12 concert cash.
It's beautiful. And, you know, after, you know, going from motel to motel.
The Robin Hood Foundation was a godsend.
Donna Blaze heads the nonprofit Affordable Housing Alliance. She bought 17 modular units with the Robin Hood Foundation grant. 9 are up already, and all will be rented to Sandy refugees.
All the money has to go directly to the projects that they financed.
2 more modular homes are going to go up right here. Now, you might say this development has musical connections. It used to belong to Bruce Springsteen's wife, Patty. She sold it to the Housing Alliance for half price, and then the Robin Hood Foundation donated $1 million. It's hard to find a charity that'll lay out a cool $1 million.
Oh, you bet.
2/3 of the concert proceeds have gone to housing groups. These 2- and 3-bedroom homes come with new appliances, like a newfangled dishwasher.
I've been washing dishes all my life, so I don't know what to do with it.
So you've never actually had a dishwasher?
No, never.
Mary pays $850 a month in rent. Donations of cleaning supplies, food, and pots and pans let her cook a real breakfast for the first time in a long time.
It was wonderful just to get eggs over easy for once, not a microwavable egg.
We're able to sleep a little better at night. We don't have to worry about them much.
Mary's daughter, Thomasina, is visiting from Kentucky, sent by the family.
And they said, get Mother where she needs to go.
That was your mission?
That was my mission. They said, do not come home until she's in a home.
She'll head home now that her mom's settled in with a new home and a new sense of peace.
You'll have your own bed and rolling all over it, you know. It's nice. It's really nice.
In Eatontown, I'm Brenda Flanagan for NJ Today.
For more on what happened to the tens of millions of dollars raised from the 12-12-12 concert for Sandy relief, we turn to David Saltzman, Executive Director of the Robin Hood Foundation, who joins me now. David, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Rafael.
It's a great story. There are a lot like it, and we'll talk about it in a second. But first of all, tell us about the Robin Hood Foundation. What is it?
Robin Hood's mission is simple. We fight poverty in New York City. But when Sandy hit, we knew we had to help our neighbors in need. We knew we had to help people not just in New York City, but also people like Mary in New Jersey who lost everything. So we went out to Long Island, to New Jersey, to Connecticut, to Westchester, as well as New York City to help our neighbors in a time of real need.
So talk to us about the 12-12-12 concert. How did you put all this together and do it so quickly?
Well, I wish I could take credit for it, but the truth is we have 2 extraordinary board members, Harvey Weinstein and John Sykes, who came together with their friend Jim Dolan, and those 3 guys recruited all of that talent to perform at Madison Square Garden just 6 weeks after the hurricane tore through our community.
Really? And how did you get the logistics? I mean, you had the superest of the superstars. To get them, I mean, they're always so busy, get them together?
Well, you know, the first thing they did was they got Paul McCartney and Bruce Springsteen, and then everybody else came together immediately thereafter. And then we just had to find a date that worked. And 12-12-12 was the first date that people could come in from all over the world. Bruce Springsteen flew overnight from Mexico where he was performing. Paul McCartney and others came in from London. Alicia Keys, a New York woman, was here right from the start.
And how much did this cost you?
Well, you know, all the performers performed for free. Jim Dolan donated Madison Square Garden. We got wonderful, wonderful support from our underwriters at Chase and GE and others. So it ended up costing Robin Hood $0 and cost our donors $0.
Wow. So, you know, everybody talks about the $50 million plus that you raised during the concert. How much money have you raised altogether?
For Sandy relief, we've raised more than $70 million. And the good news, Rafael, is that every single penny of that has been allocated. Our donors wanted to make sure people like Mary had roofs over their heads. They wanted to make sure that people were fed, that people had their medicine. So we really made a concerted effort to get the money out as quickly as we could while continuing the same high-level due diligence that Robin Hood has practiced for 25 years.
Yeah, because most charities think it prudent to take their time to vet the individuals or the organizations that they give money to. You guys did it in 100 days. You could vet all the organizations and people in that short a period of time?
We could. We have a network of more than 200 organizations that Robin Hood has been funding here in New York City for the past quarter century. So the day the hurricane hit, we had boots on the ground working with those organizations to find out what was needed. And then we went beyond New York City, and we really wanted to make sure that we had face-to-face conversations with people to make sure that our donors' money was going to where it was needed most.
Well, we saw one example of where the money went, put to good use. What are some of the other examples?
Well, I'll tell you about a couple that I really thought were terrific. There's a group called Team Rubicon, veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan who come together with veterans from other wars, including Vietnam, and volunteer wherever there's a crisis. They came in from all over the country and were immediately on the ground taking their military training and putting it to good use in the Rockaways. And these young men and young women really did an extraordinary job. Another organization that Robin Hood has funded for a long, long time, the Henry Street Settlement, is located on the Lower East Side. Lower East Side was hit hard by this storm, and they were immediately climbing the stairs of the high-rise buildings to make sure that elderly people had medicine, that they had food, that they had heat, that they had water, that they could get people to safety. And there were so many heroic stories of individuals and organizations around Sandy. It was a terrific thing. The other thing that you should know is that really happened as a result of that 12-12-12 concert is that there was an international community of caring. 260,000 people from all 50 states and 90 countries around the world donated to our Sandy relief effort.
Wow. That's impressive. Your efforts are impressive, and I congratulate you for it, David. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
For a young Latina actress in New York in the 1960s, getting to Sesame Street was a surprising and significant turn of events that made her career. Sonia Manzano grew up visiting her family in what's known as El Barrio and auditioning for Broadway and beyond. Now she's put her storytelling ability and some of her own history in a book for young adults called The Revolution of Evelyn Serrano. Sonia, welcome to MetroFocus. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Well, thank you. It's great being here.
And congratulations on The Revolution of Evelyn Serrano, your new novel, which has gotten high praise from very good writers like Oscar Hijuelos, Julia Alvarez, Esmeralda Santiago, among many others.
I'm very flattered to be in their company.
It's a good book. It's a great book.
Thank you.
So why did you write it?
You know, with the visibility of Latinos today, and now we're very visible, I couldn't help remembering how in 1969 we were totally invisible. Right. I mean, even with the social climate of the country changing and the civil rights movement, and everybody had a platform and everybody was protesting things, still, Latinos were just invisible until a group called the Young Lords made a big brouhaha because the garbage wasn't picked up in El Barrio in a timely fashion, and all of a sudden Latins were on the radar. They wrote stories about these Puerto Ricans who were standing up for social injustice. And so when I had the opportunity to write something, and Scholastic said, what would be an interesting topic for you? I thought, great, I'm gonna write about when we were invisible.
Now, Evelyn Serrano is a teenager living in El Barrio.
Right.
How autobiographical is the book?
Well,
are you Evelyn?
No, I'm not Evelyn. I'm not Evelyn. I have a cousin named Evelyn who lived in El Barrio with my grandmother. So I was able to go to El Barrio when I was a kid, and El Barrio was really a mess. I mean, it was really dirty, and but it was also an exciting place. I remember thinking, I'm from the Bronx. I love the Bronx, but I always thought El Barrio is like Puerto Rican Central. I mean, there's people cooking out of push carts, and there's all this activity. So I was in that area. I wasn't an activist. I wasn't really political.
You weren't?
No. I was more interested in being in theater, and actually I thought to be socially active was for, I don't know, intellectuals, not for
but
the
when
regular
did you change?
people.
When did you change? When did you become a conscientized, proud Latina, to coin a phrase?
Well, I think that I was cast on Sesame Street.
Right.
In 1969.
I think our viewers know that.
Or I was cast a little later, but Sesame Street was aired in 1969. It was a result of the social activity that was going on in the country. And they said, we are casting you because we want Latinos in the inner city to have someone on television that is a real person that they could relate to.
But was that your goal when you took the role? I mean, did you consciously want to create a character that was a positive role model for Latinos?
No, not at all. I was an actress. I was very young. I was in my 20s. I was in a show called Godspell. And all of a sudden, I'm on this show that's a groundbreaking show. And Matt Robinson said to me, who played the original Gordon, you're not just an actress. You are representing a lot of Hispanic people. Your presence on this show is a responsibility that you have to
So they gave you the green light to do that.
Yeah.
And then did you have the power to shape the character as you
Yes. Well, they kept telling me, just be a real person. We want kids to relate to a real person. And then I thought, how else am I going to implement Latinos on Sesame Street? And they had a fruit cart and that had apples and pears. And I went, plátanos. We have to get plátanos on this cart. And they had green plantains on it. And it was a little thing. But the fact that they did it, that I suggested it, and the producer said, all right, let's do it. You're our representative. You're the representative.
Of all the episodes that you've been involved in, is there one that stands out for you?
I have to say it's when Maria and Luis, who is not my real husband, but who plays my real husband on Sesame Street, and I got married. And that was in the mid-'80s. And for me, that was the golden time for me on Sesame Street. I was a writer I was writing 10 shows a season.
Right.
And the idea was to show Latinos with the same hopes and dreams of everyone else. At that time, Latinos on television were depicted as being different from everyone else. The ones who ate tacos or who got angry quickly or, had funny accents. But on Sesame Street, we were just like everyone else. We wanted to get married, fall in love.
All right. Well, Sonia, as I said, it's a wonderful book. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
Finally tonight, a slice of New York life, where hard work, long hours, and the pungent aroma of fish is a tradition handed down generation to generation. Columbia University Graduate School of Journalism student Salima Karoma introduces us to a few of the fishmongers of Manhattan.
Almost every morning for the past 30 years, Frank Ania has arrived at work at 3 a.m. As co-owner of Pisacane Fish Market, one of the last small seafood shops in New York City, Frank takes down orders.
Sunday, 7:01 p.m.
and drives from the east side to the Fulton Fish Market at Hunts Point.
24/7, I'm always thinking about something to do with fish.
Fulton Fish Market is dubbed the New York Stock Exchange of seafood. It's the oldest American fish market and supplies fresh seafood to fish retailers like Pisacane.
Give me 5 pounds of booze. They're like baby halibuts. I didn't buy them anywhere else. That's how I know they were yours. You get sucked into the fish business. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. It's hard to believe something so difficult would suck you in like that.
Frank and Paul Ania inherited the business from their father, who inherited it from his father, a young man who traveled from Italy to America in the 1940s and built the shop with little money to his name. Now in their 50s, the brothers have been thinking about who will take over the shop.
It's extremely hard labor. Everything is done by hand. This is 18 hours a day. In this particular business, it's 6 days a week, and it's hands-on.
Owning a fish market was once a thriving business.
I have some nice sea scallops, salmon, and swordfish.
But regulations, dwindling profit margins, and depletion of fish have made it a struggle just to break even. Frank Ania has 2 daughters and 2 sons. They are nurses and accountants. His brother Paul's teenage sons want to go to college. For a while, Frank had someone else in mind to take over Pisacane, his daughter Dominique's boyfriend, Joe, who worked at the shop for a year. But it wasn't the hard labor that turned him off to the business.
Smelling is stunk. I had to take the bus home and have like the whole back of the bus to myself.
And their fish boots too, they stink. Fish is money. That's what I always say. It is. The smell of fish is the smell of money.
I had to do it. My father had to do it since he was 13, so if I had kids, they'd have to do it also. That's just a part of life.
The question is there a future in the fish business? And as far as a mom and pop store, that future's not a promising future. No, not at all.
From Columbia University, I'm Salima Karoma for MetroFocus.
And that's it for this edition of MetroFocus. For more on many of our stories, log on to our website at metrofocus.org. And here's some news. Next month, MetroFocus will begin airing every week. We hope you'll join us for smart conversations and in-depth reporting from all around the metropolitan region. I'm Rafael Pi Roman. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Funding for this program was made possible by James and Merrill Tisch, Cheryl and Philip Milstein family, Jody and John Arnhold, Bernard and Irene Schwartz, the Nissan Foundation, and the Ford Foundation, working with visionaries on the front lines of social change worldwide. Corporate funding for MetroFocus was provided by Mutual of America, your retirement company,